The trailer for the new Assassin's Creed Shadows is out now, and everyone is talking about its new protagonist, Yasuke. Yasuke was a man supposedly of African origin who served the feudal lord Oda Nobunaga between the years 1581 and 1582 during the Sengoku period. Now, even though I am sick and tired of forced diversity in media, Yasuke I don't really have much of a problem with because his story is quite interesting if done right. However, I do have many concerns with this character, especially because the game's being handled by UBISOFT. Let's be honest, UBISOFT are a bit of a joke at the moment. And of course, let us not forget the far leftist activists who seem to have way too much power on the narratives of games nowadays. Now, this is Assassin's Creed, and obviously it's not going to be 100% historically accurate. I am particularly concerned about the historic revisionism that will take place to push certain agendas. Now, I'm quite sure all of you have heard of "We was Kangs" by now. Well, in this case, we have "We was Samurai." You see, there is no historical evidence that Yasuke was ever a samurai. Sure, he was given a short sword and a house because the Lord was so impressed by his feats of strength and often would have him accompany him. But there's no evidence that he was a samurai, let alone someone who led the charge in battles. Now, I don't know about you, but the fact that he wasn't a samurai is actually a much more interesting story than him being a samurai. Because when Lord Nobunaga got betrayed by his own vassals and got killed, instead of potentially escaping, Yasuke actually ran to Nobunaga's son to defend him against the traitors. The fact that he displayed such honorable behavior without even being a samurai himself is much more interesting of a story. Now, the other potential problem that might arise in the story is that it is said that Nobunaga was a bit of a bisexual. Now, even though there is no evidence that Yasuke was made to take part in any sexual activities with Nobunaga, far be it for the white liberals to not try to turn another on-screen black guy gay. Now, another stunt that the writers might try to pull off is by presenting Yasuke as a slave that came across on a Spanish slave ship. Now, the problem with that is that it is basically factually known that Yasuke was in fact a free man, and he came over with Christian missionaries acting as their bodyguard or hired muscle. Nobunaga kept Yasuke as his servant in exchange for allowing the missionaries to be able to spread the gospel and convert people to Christianity. Another thing I noticed in the trailer is that it seems that Yasuke is speaking very fluently with the other protagonist who is Japanese, when it's factually known that Yasuke understood very little Japanese, and Nobunaga actually didn't talk to him much either, even though Nobunaga took a lot of pleasure in having Yasuke accompany him around. And of course, let us not forget about the problem with the modern female protagonist. You see, nowadays, when there's a dual protagonist system going on in any kind of media, and one of those is a male and one of them is a female, the writers go out of their way to try to show the male as some sort of bumbling buffoon, even if in the trailers and marketing they try to show the male as a complete and utter badass. Meanwhile, the female protagonist is, well, usually an obnoxious Mary Sue. In addition to this, I'm not sure if you've seen the trailer, but half of the trailer I was sitting around trying to guess if the heroine is actually a guy or a gal. Yes, once again, we have a female protagonist that the designers have gone out of their way to try to make her look less feminine and more manly. Now, before I finish, I'm gonna leave an interesting thought in your mind. A cool story twist. How cool would it be if it turns out that Yasuke is actually secretly a Knights Templar, and that he manipulates Neo, which is basically the female protagonist, and also, if you see the trailer, she is the closest thing to an assassin in the game. How cool would it be if Yasuke is actually secretly manipulating her? Now, I know the writers are unlikely to try to show Yasuke in a negative light, but if they did that, I would respect that decision so much. That's such a cool story twist. Anyway, what do you guys think? Leave a comment below, hit that like button, share, and of course, don't forget to subscribe. And for the haters out there, in the words of the legendary Rick Sanchez, your boos mean nothing to me. I've seen what makes you cheer.